Good morning. Glad you are here. We're doing a hymn that we haven't done in a long time, but it was a favorite we used to do all the time. It's called Meditation on Breathing. It starts in 3 parts, and then after that, it can just be a choose your own adventure. After you hear all the parts, you just pick whichever one you want. But we're going to start with this section over here. You get the drone part. Your part goes like this. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Keep it going. Breathe in. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe. Keep that going. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. That was good. Please rise in body or in spirit. We're going to sing Wake Now My Senses. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of breathing on. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and grace the sublime. Wake now my conscience with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. This love embraces the whole human race.
Good morning. Good morning, friends. I am so glad you are here today. I'm Reverend Taryn Strauss, Senior Minister here at this place you have found yourself in, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where we are here to transform lives through courageous action and soulful connection. And that may be your life. And if you are joining us online, Dad, you're very welcome here, and everybody else this morning. So glad you are all here. The poet David White says there is no house like the house of belonging. So welcome to this house of becoming and this house of belonging. Have you checked in on social media lately that you are here at UUCA? I think it'd be cool. I don't know how this happens on the internet, but if we check in, it could be called the House of Belonging or the House of Becoming and the House of Belonging. It's very mystical, has Meow Wolf vibes, if anyone knows what Meow Wolf is. Anyway, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if that's real, but anyway, you can check in at UUCA. All right. Don's doing it. Don's here in reality and on the internet. He's here in both places. This is your faith home, and I want to tell you what that means. It means that you are the welcome party. You are the host. This is not a store. This is not a Starbucks. This is not a restaurant. This is not a school. This is not like any other place. This is the house of becoming. This is the house of belonging. And so you open the door. You invite someone in. If someone is standing out there in the social hall on their own, then it is you. You are the one to express warm curiosity, to find out their story, find out what led them here today. If someone wants to sit next to you, well, of course, you invite them to sit next to you, and then you find out how they're feeling today. This is your role because you are the welcome party. If you are feeling low energy this morning, I know it's kind of a dreary morning, well, find out more about the energy adjacent to you. Ask someone what they're going through today, because this weekend, this holds all the freshness of a new year. After all, it is year 5784 in the Jewish calendar, and so we wish Lashana Tova to all who celebrate, and we take the time to renew our own approach to our lives, and especially to our faith lives, to our spiritual lives, to that which we are devoted. And you are here this morning not by accident nor serendipity, but by choice. So deepen into that choice and know that it is you who makes this a house of belonging. Not because you're waiting around for someone to welcome you, but because you are doing the welcoming. Because you are doing the next right thing. So, please, bring to this house of becoming, this house of belonging, bring your full self, bring your queerness, bring your blackness, bring your gender, bring your youth, bring your age, bring your religious doubt, your mental health struggle, bring your humanness to all of us today. Let's make this a house of belonging together. And also, this is a multi-generational worship, so the kids are going to be with us the whole time. It's going to be beautiful. And at this time, I would like to invite some very cool youth, Nyla Feaster, Ethan Frost Boyce, and Zachary Lanterman, who are going to somehow, between the three of them, complete this task of lighting our chalice this morning. Just so you know, cool kids light chalices. This is very cool. Please join them in saying the chalice lighting words together. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace. Thank you, guys.
Good morning. Our story today is A World of Pause Abilities, an exercise in mindfulness by Frank J. Celio, illustrated by Jennifer Savoyne. Do you know what a pause ability is? A pause ability is taking a pause just for you to stop and notice and what you think, feel, and do. A pause is being in the moment and giving yourself a break. There's no wrong way to pause, so it's hard to make a mistake. Some pauses are silent, while some keep you moving. The pauses should be calming, so things can start improving. So come, let's explore a world of possibilities. Yes! Take a deep breath from your belly and let it out slow. Relax your muscles until they feel like dough. Have something yummy and healthy to eat. Notice the flavor. Is it salty or sweet? Go outside and take a walk. Listen to silence. Try not to talk. Let the rays of the sun warm your body and face. Take time to slow down. There's no reason to race. Draw, paint, color, or just doodle. Make your body limp like a spaghetti noodle. Wear your favorite and most comfortable shoes. Be in the moment and wiggle your toes. Be comfortable to your body and to your brain. Be good to your body and to your brain. Comfortable is good too. Take the time to listen to the sound of the rain. Turn off all the things that have a screen. Splash your face with warm water and make it clean. See your reflection and make a huge smile. Smiling makes us feel good, and that lasts a while. Say something nice to yourself about you. You are kind and smart and other things too. Reach your arms to the floor and take a bow. Taking a pause focuses on what's happening now. Stretch up as far as you can reach. Step barefoot in the grass or the sand on the beach. Notice the wind when it blows through your hair. Take a pause on your bed or in a soft chair. Remember a funny story or a silly joke. Visit a furry friend and give them a gentle stroke. Find someone you love and ask for a hug. Wrap yourself in a blanket so you feel comfy and snug. Accept what you are feeling as is neither right nor wrong. Taking a pause will make your mind and body strong. Taking a pause does not have to be hard. Taking a pause in your room, at school, on the bus, in your yard. Taking a pause is easy, you see. Making time to pause and practicing is key. Have you ever learned how to take a pause? If so, give yourself a round of applause. Yes, we've all been able to do that. When dealing with life's difficulties, stop and think about a world of pause abilities. Can you come up with other possibilities? Just let them flow. There are endless possibilities. What's in your world of possibilities? I would like to invite the Denard family to the chancel to lead us in this morning's movement prayer. So as they make their way here, please rise in body or spirit and join us. You want to come right up here? I am. Yes. Okay, here we go. First, we bow to honor the spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves and breathe and smile we share these gifts with the world, we remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Amen. Blessed be. Thank you. Thank you. So this service has been designed for all ages, but at this time, if you would like to take any nursery or younger children to childcare, you are invited to do so now. The location for these are just down the hall on the first floor. And as our children recess, please take this opportunity to greet your neighbor, especially someone you have not met.
Good morning. Before I sing this very famous song, I wanted to, a lot of people see the title of this song and hear the song and they think it's about a romantic relationship, but I wanted to actually give the context that the song comes up in this play, the chorus line. So auditioning throughout the show and telling their stories. During one of the auditions, one of the dancers falls and has a career-ending injury. And the choreographer says to them all, what would you do if everything you had ever worked for in your life, being a dancer, ended right in a moment? And they all, none of them can really think about it. And then one of them responds with this song. So just think about that as, you listen to the lyrics. They're not about romantic love. They're about the love of life and giving your life to something greater than yourself, so. Kiss today goodbye, the sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you. And I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew. And I won't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Gone, love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me towards tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Can't forget, won't regret what I did for love, what I did for gone. Love is never gone as we travel on. Love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me towards tomorrow. It's as if we always knew. Can't forget, won't regret what I did for love, what I did for love, what I did for love.
As we deepen in and we deepen our devotion and we think about what we all do for love and the ways we serve that love, the ways we give and make it real so that others can love it too, it seems like a good time to bring up our annual stewardship drive, which is launching today and allowing us to deepen and think about how we do serve a love greater than ourselves, a love of a congregation and a community that was built not by our own hands, but by people who went before us and who we want to see thrive and grow and flourish for the children and the people who are yet to find us, who may find this a truly life-saving faith and a life-saving congregation. So this is the time now, over the next month or so, maybe beyond the next couple of months, to discern, to focus, to get focused, and make your financial pledge to this house of becoming, this house of belonging, so we may all be sustained, so we may all continue the work of deepening our lives and serving the love we have for this community that is greater than each one of us. A financial pledge is a promise of your commitment, your financial commitment to UUCA. This place relies on those financial pledges from you, the members, to build a visionary budget, one that can transform lives through courageous action and to create soulful connection. And that is no small feat. Call, text, email you, they'll knock on your door, they'll send carrier pigeon, they will connect with you, rest assured, that will be happening, so that they can have a lovely conversation with you about this community that we all love so much. So, today is the day of the launch. You can look forward to these conversations happening in your life today or sometime over the next couple of months. And I just think the launch of our stewardship campaign just also seems like a great excuse to have a 30-second dance party, don't you, Laura Beth?
30-second dance party.
Just 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. All right, you at home, you were doing it too, right? Don't leave us hanging. You in your living room, you were doing it.
Whew. Never a dull moment at UUCA, folks. Okay. So today we are talking about the art of focus. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I have trouble focusing. Did you know that if you use social media, you see over 3,000 images a day? Even kids, over 500 ads a day. The internet and television are awesome ways to learn things, to get connected, and to be entertained. But you can imagine how seeing so much stuff all the time could really impact our ability to focus. Sometimes it feels like all the thoughts and images in our brain are a ton of little knickknacks floating around. How do you clear the path to really give your attention to just one thing? We talked about possibilities, but to practice this skill, I thought we'd play a little game you might have heard before. So who's up for a little I Spy? Yeah. So if you're watching online, a link to these images is being dropped in the live chat now. Okay, here we go. First, let's start off with a couple easy ones. I spy with my little eye a pink button. Can you find what I spy? So let's look. So you can just kind of point to it. Ooh, yeah, I think most people have found it. Let's see. There we go, right in the corner. Little pink button. There we go. The other one's kind of magenta, Dawn points out. Yeah, great job, great job. Okay, now on to the next one. Now I spy with my little eye an animal that is famous for having the same number of legs as we have UU principals. So let's see if you can find what I'm talking about up there. Yes, I'm seeing a few people have found it. Let's see if we found it. Yes, an octopus, because we have 8 principals. That's right. An octopus has 8 legs. Okay, are you ready? It's time to step it up a notch. Oh, yeah. So in honor of our congregation, UUCA, how about we try to find the letter U, the letter C, and the letter A. Can you spy them? And there may be more than one. See if you can spy a U, a C, and an A. Okay, let's see. There's the U, there's the C, and can you see the A? You may have found another one right underneath the horseshoe. Yeah, a little more difficult, right? But nice job. And now the advanced round. Woo! We may have trouble focusing, but I hear an elephant never forgets. So, can you find not one, not two, not three or four, but 5 elephants in this picture? We're going to give you a little more time on this one. There are actually more than 5. Who has found 5? Ooh, we have some who have found 5. Well, let's check it out. Okay, so here are 5 elephants right here. But if you notice, there's kind of like a row of elephants. So maybe you got your first 4 knocked out at the top, right? Good job. So, bringing everybody back to focus. Yes, the art of focus requires practice, so you may have only found a couple of elephants, and that's okay. It's all about taking the time to train our attention. And if you ever feel overwhelmed or if you're having a hard time focusing, imagine everything in your mind represented as a little object in an I Spy image. Then, take a deep breath and zero in on what you are searching for. Good job, everyone.
Come and find the quiet center in the crowded life we lead. Find the room for hope to enter. Find the frame where we are freed. Clear the chaos and the clutter. Clear our eyes that we can see all the things that really matter. Be at peace and simply be.
Let us put hands on hearts. Feel our heartbeat, connection to life. Breathe in peace. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. and that love can heal this world. Melora Furman would like to thank all those who offered condolences after the death of her mother, Rita, back in early May. We send our love and healing light out to the people of Morocco and Libya who are facing immeasurable loss of life in the aftermath of a great earthquake. We hold this part of our world in our hearts and in our prayers and seek healing. There is someone in your life today who is struggling, who is suffering, who is grieving, who is struggling with loneliness or illness. Please write their names into the live chat so we may hold them in our hearts in this holy community, or speak their names out loud into this sacred space now. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find more ways to be more loving. Spirit of life, love eternal, we rest now in holy gratitude. We surrender to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes, those times we have been selfish or thoughtless. Breathing in and out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves, and we forgive each other. We begin again in love. Breathing in wonder, we honor our earth, that which supports and sustains all life. For just one moment, feeling a deep connection with all beings. Now, let us calm our bodies and our minds. We breathe in peace, and we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the silence.
Come and find the quiet center in the crowded library. Find the room for hope to enter. Find the frame where we are free. Clear the chaos and the clear our eyes that we can see all the things that
My work with the Atlanta Solidarity Fund began in May of 2020 in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. When countless activists took to the streets of Atlanta that night, many were arrested. The next day, a friend of mine invited me to sit vigil, which in the context of jail support involves waiting outside of the jail for the release of the arrestees, typically with offerings of food, water, rides home, and loving support. Vigil is one of many jail support services offered by the Atlanta Solidarity Fund to the brave activists who are arrested while defending our rights and our lives. As the protests persisted, I became involved with the jail support hotline, receiving calls from arrestees in jail, protesters who witnessed the arrests of their comrades, and worried friends and family members of those arrested. But perhaps the most important aspect of the Atlanta Solidarity Fund's jail support initiative is the bail fund. Around the clock, the fund's bailers are ready to mobilize and go to the jail with cash to bail out protesters, often at just a moment's notice. The fund also provides arrestees with access to legal representation and pays all associated fees. Today, Atlanta Solidarity Fund volunteers are still hard at work providing support to those fighting state repression. The proposal for the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, more commonly known as Cop City, has been met with contempt by defenders of justice everywhere, in Atlanta and around the world, including myself, because of the negative effects it would have on local marginalized communities. Many more activists have been violently arrested while protesting in the streets and while defending the Weelaunee Forest. While I have not personally been arrested for this cause, some of my friends have, making the work of the Solidarity Fund especially important to me. While the Atlanta City Council voted to approve the proposal for Cop City, despite intense citizen pushback, activists have mobilized in an attempt to place the ultimate decision in the hands of the people through the cornerstone of the democratic process, voting. The city of Atlanta has and continues to employ repression tactics to prevent this vote from happening, including, but not limited to, the indictment of 61 Atlanta activists on racketeering charges this month for the specific work of running the bail fund. Today, please join me in upholding our fifth UU principle, which affirms the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large by giving to the Atlanta Solidarity Fund. It means so much to me as a Unitarian Universalist lay minister, for this is one crucial way we live our faith. This morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest. to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for our heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars.
And now, please join me in the dedication of the offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings.
Once upon a time, there were wondrous contraptions. Nearly everyone had one. These devices were important to us, but they could only ever do one thing at a time. They couldn't call anyone and have a conversation. They couldn't log in to any network of information. They couldn't even play videos. You needed an entirely different device for that. They could only do one thing. Its singular purpose was to refract light, filter an image through a lens, and capture that image forever. Or maybe for a couple of decades. You had to go to a special store just to develop the film. They would hang up the print from this camera in a very dark room using a special solution, and slowly, ever slowly, the image would appear on the glossy paper. During that process, you hoped and prayed for those few days that the image you captured with your camera would be the same one you saw on the page as it was developed. But camera technology has been long in the making, longer than you can truly imagine. The version of a camera I'm speaking about was invented in 1816, but throughout human history, we have tried and tried to capture a single image and keep it forever. I am fascinated by the earliest form of this, called the camera obscura. The earliest written record of the camera obscura theory can be found in the studies of Chinese philosopher and founder of Mohism, Mozi, who lived from 470 to 390 BC. He recorded that the image in a camera obscura is flipped upside down because light travels in straight lines from its source. What this means is that the camera as we know it took 2,500 years to develop. Human history is just so much longer than this moment we are in. The phones we have are kind of magical. They took over 2 millennia to develop. We are moving fast now, but we are always building on the slowness of millions of people before us. Camera obscura, meaning dark room in Latin, is a box-shaped device used as an aid for drawing or entertainment, also referred to as a pinhole image. It lets light in through a small opening on one side and projects a reversed and inverted image on the other. As the name suggests, many historical camera obscura experiments were performed in dark rooms. The surrounding of the projected image had to be relatively dark for the image to be clear. And the truth is, the human eye works a lot like the camera obscura. Both have an opening, pupil, biconvex lens for refracting light, and a surface where the image is formed, a retina. Early camera obscura were often large and often installed inside entire rooms or tents. Later, portable versions made from wooden boxes often had a lens instead of a pinhole, which would allow the user to adjust the focus. Some camera obscura boxes also featured an angled mirror, allowing the image to be projected the right way up. Leonardo da Vinci and Vermeer were early adopters, using it in their painting process, projecting an image onto a canvas and then drawing it as the basis of their piece. Now, there are many metaphors for the art of focus. Why am I choosing this one? Why am I so drawn to the camera obscura, that which obscures something so that a small pinhole can become bright, then focused, then completely clear? I think it's something about the mystical experience of waiting for something to become clear, waiting for an image to develop. And this mystical experience is in some ways, in our modern moment, a lost art. Waiting for the next right thing to come into focus. My friend is a photographer. She refers to the darkroom as her sanctuary, the place where she hides from the rest of the world while wondering and hoping and praying that the image that will appear is the one she meant to capture. But the image will not resolve itself immediately onto the page. You have to wait for it. You have to pause. Within the forced pause and within the enclosed space, some alchemy is taking place. And while I am often a futurist and can certainly be accused as one, I do believe wisdom is found in the waiting, in the magic between taking and receiving an image. I don't relate to selfie culture or the constant editing and doctoring of images taken on a cell phone, a million clicks just to find the right look. I don't think photos should even really happen at the speed of light with all that immediacy. No, I think a lot about the way our brains are receiving so much new information all the time at this warp speed, and the world demands then an immediate and pithy response without a pause in between. And truthfully, sometimes I struggle with the 6 days in between the Sundays to come up with a response for you in this moment. We need time between receiving new information and producing our own response. This pause is sacred. It deserves protection. It is the space between receiving and responding, and we can slow our response time. The other thing I love about the camera Obscura and these early cameras is how they could only do one thing at a time. As a device, it could not do 19 things, just the one for which it was made, and that was miracle enough. To turn our eye toward a single focus is still a complete miracle in this time we are living through. And at UUCA, for example, we may practice sometimes the sacred no. Not because your idea is unworthy, but because we are narrowing our focus and thus expanding our power. See, the world calls to your attention in a million superficial and meaningful ways. You could write the sermon. You could master the instrument, read the novel, finish the article, complete the painting, perfect the skill, practice more fully. You could finish the puzzle, languish in the deep conversation, make the pie from scratch. Or you could take a shortcut, and you could accomplish nearly all of these tasks with less fullness. Sometimes, I admit, I fill my time to avoid another less desirable task. How many times has the sermon gotten written because the living room needed to be cleaned or the dishes done? Or sometimes I'm filling my time to avoid an unwelcome creeping thought. There are some weeks when everything I have done has been the procrastination of something else. Anyone else? All right. I hope so. I prayed. Another thing I love about the camera Obscura is that it flips the perspective. We can box ourselves inside of our own deeply held positions without even realizing it. But if you can sit with the mystery, if you can take a holy pause, you too can flip your perspective. Perhaps you have been committed to seeing things a certain way for a very long time, many decades even. The camera Obscura offers you a challenge beyond what can be seen with your own eyes alone. If you can have your idea reflected in someone else, maybe your perspective can be flipped. This, in many ways, is the dark room. This is where magic happens. And I admit, I had thought for quite a while this week about how we could turn this entire sanctuary into a camera Obscura. You can do that. You can take a whole room and make it a camera Obscura, projecting ourselves outward through a single beam of light so that all that we are could be fully seen and understood, so the perspectives we arrive with so preciously here could be flipped upside down. This is power being expanded through focus. See, imagine how much power you could wield in your own life, in your community, in your school. Guys, kids, students, I'm talking to you too. If you clarify your focus. Sure, you could do a million things marginally well, or you could do one deeply meaningful thing at a time. Okay, kids in elementary school, do any of you know what happened on September 15th? Like, what was September 15th? We had it just the other day. What was that day in school? Okay, yes. What? Rosh Hashanah. Okay, it possibly was also Rosh Hashanah. That was the 17th. That's a very religiously appropriate answer. Anybody else? Are Towns and Langston in the room? They did it. Ellis, I feel like, did you guys do this at school? Did anybody celebrate Dot Day? Yes! Dot Day. Okay. Did you know about International Dot Day? Well, you're welcome. Now you do. The Dot, based on Peter Reynolds' wonderful book, The Dot, represents creative courage and focus. Convinced she cannot draw and is terrible at art, a young girl dreads her art class every day until an excellent art teacher encourages her to begin with a single dot. And as it turns out, that dot contains multitudes, and the dot unleashes unimaginable creativity in her life, and then in the life of the whole school, and the whole community, and now the whole world. It's about the singular power of the perfect circle. We humans are not machines. The struggle to focus, hear me now, is not a character flaw. The struggle to focus is not a character flaw, but a very real cognitive issue and struggle for those with attention deficit disorder and ADHD. And it's true that sometimes people with ADHD do better with 2 tasks than 1, but only 2. As one of my friends described it, one single task doesn't allow them the spaciousness to be human. And the shortage of ADHD medication is a complex issue of our moment. But even with medication, our brains cannot always function like this camera Obscura. See, it's not necessarily a deficit of focus. It's an inability to prioritize what others think ought to be prioritized. Others, like parents and teachers. It's about shifting attention. Our brains are not machines, yet the way we offer them input, and so the way we offer them input must be intentional and careful. There was a moment in the middle of 2020, it was December, and my kindergarten age kids, age 5, had spent 4 months learning from a teacher on their Chromebooks. It was like a laptop that they were given by their school. They couldn't, that happened to you too, they could not read, but they were expected to type. It was simply one amongst many surreal moments of that year, 2020, and I remember it well. I walked by my child who was seated in my home, because that's where we were having school, and his teacher was on the screen was telling him something. The teacher he had learned from since August, it was now December, who had tried to corral 24 5-year-olds into paying attention to her on a screen with the whole world just beyond that screen. And I felt for her as she was faced with an impossible task. Yet we were all supposed to pretend this would work out and that our kids' brains would be fine. But we were worried. As I walked by, my child turned to me and pointed to his kindergarten teacher on the screen, the one who had been giving him assignments and trying to correct his behavior via computer all these 4 months. And he asked me a question. "Hey, Mom, is she real?" When I realized he was struggling not with shapes, nor colors, not math, nor reading, but reality itself, I walked over and I closed the computer. I barely had an answer for him. "It's okay, honey. We're done with this experiment now." I put him in an outdoor school for the rest of the year where his brain could live in full reality the entire day. And he came home telling me about the bird's nest they found, about the vegetables they chopped, about the button that they sewed. And I wondered if by closing that computer, if we didn't save his attention span, allowing it to both stretch and focus. So the world has its agenda, and that agenda for you is more. More and more and more things to think, more things to notice, more things to fear, to buy. In order to sell you things, your attention is a precious commodity, and advertisers buy and trade on that commodity. This is why what was once a camera has become a content delivery device, bringing more advertising directly to your brain. But the pressure to behave in fundamentally additive ways, always adding more and more to our pile of thoughts, to our to-do list, is an impossible way of life, my friends. We simply don't need more. We don't need more stuff. We don't need more activities, and we don't need more work. The reality is we have to focus, right now especially. That is true for us, for UUCA, for congregations across the country. Our system cannot provide equal support for a lot of different individual needs and individual desires. We are not the iChurch, my friends. As a congregation, our mission gives us focus, as does our annual goal to increase our devotion to our spiritual life, our community. And you'll notice this year we are prioritizing certain social justice issues over others, certain activities and methods over others. We want to discover how far the power of focus can take us, how deep our impact can become in Atlanta, how strong our community, and how we can grow our souls with focus. And it is the new year somewhere. So it's a good time for resolve. It's a good time to even box yourself in a little bit, to hide in the darkness, to take a pause until a steady beam of light filters through, transforms your perspective, and illuminates a direction forward. Your power is unimaginable. If we were all to train our focus and alight on a single justice issue that we want to transform in Atlanta, or a single spiritual discipline we decide to deepen, if we could release the fear of not doing a million things, that you are not doing enough, just imagine. What if you are enough right now? Let our focus liberate us. May the single beam of light draw us out of the dark room, illuminating the next step forward and the one after that. By practicing the art of focus, we can expand our individual power, our collective power, and we can transform our world. May it be so.
Please rise in body or in spirit. Let's sing together, I Know I Can. I can go on when sorrow heals my soul and burdens make me strong. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on.
So last Sunday we discerned, and today we focus. It is time to do the thing that only you can do. It is time for us to do the thing that only we can do, to get clear, and by getting clear, expand our power to create ripples, to move mountains, to move ourselves, to move this world. So go in focus and clarity, go in peace and power.
And though the journey is long, the destination is near. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can.